We're getting booched today, bruh.
Now remember, we are not breaking the news. We are simply just discussing the news, giving our thoughts of what is going on in the world of Pokemon.
What's up, real breaking news?
Every time. You can't just let it slide 1 week.
No, breaking news.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Anyway, stop it. That's not me.
Accurate.
First up in our news discussion, which we did not expect this at all, but V-Union. We officially know what V-Union is, what it consists of, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this, to be honest with you.
It's time to summon Exodia! Yes! This is a lot.
So,
this is a lot.
What it is basically you need 4 cards to make 1 Pokemon. We've seen images of it. You can head over to pokebeach.com if you want to see images. Fantastic website. But they got Greninja, they got Mewtwo, and they got Zacian right now, and these are going to be released in these special V-Union decks in Japan. So you'll actually get all 4 pieces of the card. How the release for everybody else around the world is going to be, we have no idea. If it's going to be in a set to where you're going to have to pull all 4 pieces as an ultra rare and build it, I have no idea. But this is very reminiscent of the legend cards that we saw years and years ago, where you had to have 2 pieces to complete a Pokemon or a Pokemon duo.
I love the legend cards.
I don't know, what do you all think on this V-Union situation? Are you for it? Or you're like, I don't know how I feel about this. 4 cards?
I'm not against it. I'm just not excited for it. I think from the get-go, we've been pretty certain that this was going to have to, based on the name, be something about multiple cards coming together. And
or
clearly
like a tag team thing.
Yeah. Or like a tag team. Like, those are the only 2 options the word union could really make sense with, really. And while it's cool in concept, I know a lot of people are excited for it. I do think the images look cool once all placed together, but depending on how these cards are dispersed, like if it does come, it's like, oh, you get it in a deck and that's the way to buy it, that's fine. If you have to pull it and is all different ultra rares, I'm gonna be really tired of pulling Greninja's right leg. You know,
I'm gonna be so excited about Greninja's right leg. That thigh, give me the thigh card.
Just give me that thigh card real quick.
Mewtwo's got a thigh card as well. I'm gonna collect all the thighs. That's gonna be my mission.
There's 2 thighs.
Wow.
You can get the back half of Zacian if you want.
Butt. Yeah.
But my other problem is from a visual aspect. Aside from the image, when all put together, looks fine. It's a nice, clear, big image. But the problem is the border is way too thick. It takes up at least 25% of the actual card.
It's fat.
It's a thick border that it distracts me. Like, it's noticeable when you have one of the cards out, right? Obviously, when you have all 4 together, you're not really looking at the border.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it just stands out way too much for me. Like, it'd be so much easier if we just push back just even a little, not even half, just like a quarter back up more on all directions. I think this would look beautiful, and it's such a stupid nitpicky thing, but I'm sorry, from a visual aspect, it throws me off. The artwork's great, the concept cool, the visual aspect of it, it's just not doing it for me. There's something about that look that really just, my OCD is very much like, I don't like the look of it.
It is way too much border.
The artwork for the card is cool.
On the legend cards, they kind of had a border that was relatively similar, but they put like the name on it, and it was just on one side, and that was it. It wasn't on all 4 of the corners.
Yeah. And at least with the reason why I kind of like the legend, how they kind of dispersed like text and how they worked in the border in there, is they just said, we're gonna make it messy and look like it's very like artsy, right? Like, you'd have like text sideways or corner, in the side or going different directions. I'm like, that was cool because they played with like these larger than life creatures, kind of pushing and expanding the card out in a new way. Very fine. And the borders were, they were part of it, but they were small, and they were exactly the same on everything, and they weren't too intrusive. They actually made the lettering really, really small on them because it was like Lugia and Dialga, or Lugia just by itself, or whoever.
Darkrai and Cresselia,
whoever.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like names. Cool. To me, it wasn't as intrusive as like, let me squish down the image a little more. Obviously, now it has 4 cards to play with the artwork, but I don't know. We don't really know how far this mechanic's going to expand, and is this something that's only going to be released in specialty items like decks, or in special ways to get it? Because again, you put this in a card pack, it's going to be very hard to pull all 4 pieces. You're going to have lots of multiple legs and arm pieces of random.
If you think there's enough ultra rares in a set now, just wait till you have to pull all 4 pieces.
Here's the only way I can see it being okay, like where it wouldn't be too intrusive or annoying. Similar to like a Cosmic Eclipse, where instead of like a reverse rare, you could get a character card, right? You can still get your ultra rare, your rares, all that stuff, but sometimes instead of a reverse in the slot, like a prism card, so it has a decent chance of pulling one.
I would be more for that. Yes.
Yeah, you can get a random piece and like, oh, cool, I got it. Even if you get the same piece, it's whatever. It's an extra card anyway. It's not the only rare card in the pack.
Can you imagine if it was an ultra rare spot and then getting a booster box and you're like, all my ultra rares were 1 piece of Greninja, 2 pieces of Zacian, 3 pieces of Mewtwo.
I've got Zacian's butt, Greninja's right leg, Mewtwo's weird hand thing, and that's it.
It'd be very annoying.
It absolutely would. And the way this mechanic works is that all of the pieces have to be in your discard pile.
Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty cool. That's a nice addition.
And then you can take them from your discard pile into your bench. However, I'm not, and I could have missed this or something, but do the 4 pieces take up 4 spots in your bench?
No, I don't think so.
Or is it just one?
It's got to be just one Pokemon
spot in your bench.
Do I need a new playmat now?
That's huge.
It's big. 4 cards together takes up a lot of space.
That does. That's some prime real estate.
And like Greninja has like 3 abilities, I believe. Which is
a lot of abilities.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Wait. I see Probing Foot. I see Antidote Jutsu. Oh my gosh, yeah, and Shinobi Body. There's 3 of them.
Like the card, it looks cool. When the image is all said and done, it looks cool. But I don't know.
Yeah, the artworks are sick. The Mewtwo artwork is incredible.
I would love posters of all these. I think they look awesome as artwork. But
that Mewtwo one is stealing my heart.
I'm just not sold on this concept.
They're right now only in 60 card decks. They're only in the decks. So we'll see what happens. They're clearly not going to be in the Sky Stream and Towering Perfection, so that means they wouldn't be in the Evolving Skies most likely.
I think this would be a good opportunity to release them as V battle decks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it seems like they have been doing more with those, so that's honestly like a good point. Maybe they're just gonna they're gonna reinvent all of the theme decks. They got the V battle decks. They got the V Union battle deck extravaganza.
I think it would be a great way to do it instead of just putting it in a set, whether it be in the reverse spot or the rare spot. Put it as a V battle.
And if they do decide to, let's say like the next set in Japan after the stuff that we'll get for Evolving Heroes, let's say the next sets that'll equal out our November set, show off that there's more V Unions in the actual packs themselves. Mm-hmm. The best way of going about it, I think, would be close to November, let's say, right, when we would get our set, is to release these decks and be like, you can get full sets of these cards in the deck, or in like a Cosmic Eclipse type effect, other V Union cards, but only in that extra slot, so it doesn't take away from your chances of getting any of the other rares, and it's like a subset within that set, so it doesn't bother any of the other counts. It doesn't make the set have like 1 billion ultra rares in it. I mean, it probably will anyway at this point, but I don't know. I think that's the only way you can go about it, because just only releasing 3 V Unions and like, all right, that's it, they only release in decks, there you go, it's not really a way that they release new play strategies, right?
Yeah, there's going to be more. There is absolutely going to be
like,
more.
Even though we
only
got...
just be like, hey, yeah, here's this cool brand new thing. We've never done 4 cards together at once. And
we only got 9 amazing rares, right? But, like, it spanned 2 sets, technically, and They were cool. They didn't really change a lot. They were just cool, right? They had a little difference to them, right? This is a complete new mechanic, right? I don't think they would just release a mechanic separately and be like, all right, if you want the mechanic, you got to go buy this one product. They want to make sure that it's somewhat in the pack and in the meta, so you can actually play with it and collect it out of the pack. So if they do it, I hope that they make it that additional piece and it's more frequent that way. Or maybe just every pack you get a random piece of a V-Union card or something, right? They can make it very easily something like that.
What if it came in every single pack?
You get one random piece of a V-Union. Yeah. Why not? Yeah. If you're gonna make it, let's say they put 4 Pokemon in that series, right? That's what, 12? No, sorry, that's 16 cards. So, like, you know, you're going to get a lot of doubles if you get a booster box, but you want to have better chances at completing, I want to put together my Zamazenta V-Union that's in the November sets, you know, apparently. It's not a confirmed thing at all, obviously. But that's the only way that makes sense. Or at least if they don't do it in every pack, it'll probably be more of like an easier chance to pull, like a Prism card was. Like, you pulled Prisms pretty often. Like, they weren't like super hard to pull. Like, at least one in every 4 packs you'd get one Prism card or something like that. So if they did it like that, I could see that being pretty fair.
Do you both think this is the last gimmick that they're, and gimmick in a good way, not in a bad way, but the last gimmick that they're going to do for the Sword and Shield era? Because after this year's up, we have one more year left of Sword and Shield stuff, and then we go into a completely new generation, just obviously based off of years prior. But because if you think about it, back in Sun and Moon era, we had the Prisms, and then after the Prisms were the tag teams.
Yeah, and that was the final big thing. It's weird. We have it for Sword and Shield. We really haven't had a sustainable gimmick yet. It's always been
amazing
like
rares.
It's been like so many little
for
things.
A set and a half, really, because there was 6 in one set and 3 in a special set, right? They haven't consistently stuck onto something. Like, usually for that first year, there really isn't anything that's too special.
Yeah.
That second year, so far we have nothing but, I guess, alternate arts are more frequent, but that's not. It's not really a gimmick. That's just them making more rares, right? This would be like an actual gimmick type situation, but this is. If this would have to last throughout all of next year or most of next year to be considered a gimmick. This is just a one-time, it's only for the late half of this year thing, we don't ever do it again. Then what was it? You know, like they haven't had anything consistent yet.
Bring in just 3 though. I feel like they're just releasing.
We thought Amazing Rares were the new meta.
There's gonna be more.
They gave up on those.
This is so much different that there's no way they're just gonna be like, oh yes, let's just have 3 odd Pokemon that you can do this with, and then like no other Pokemon.
I don't know. It's definitely interesting. Whatever this is going to be.
How many sets in Sun and Moon era did we have tag teams? So we
had 4. It would be that whole year. So we had tag team, Unbroken Bonds, Unified Minds, and Cosmic Eclipse.
Yes. So that would, it would kind of make sense in a way. Because if they didn't introduce this until the beginning of next year or towards the end of this year, it would kind of fall in line that this might possibly be the last gimmick for Sword and Shield era.
Which is definitely, I feel like Sword and Shield is like kind of like doing this come and gone thing. Like Sun and Moon felt like it went fast, but this feels way faster than Sun and Moon. That we're already halfway through the second year of this stuff, which means on a rough estimate scale that the end of next year we'd already have Generation 9 being prepped up, ready to go. And we'd be moving on for the next year after that to go right into whatever that would be, which crazy fast. Like we just got into Sword and Shield, and now it's all like, all right, getting through the cards. Here you go. Put these out. Alternate arts. See you later. Bye. You know, like it's going by quick, and there really hasn't. While we've gotten prettier cards this generation with the alternate arts, and they're trying to do a lot of stuff, I think a lot of the enjoyment is definitely getting lost in the shuffle. Because there's so much stuff happening. When you go back to like Sun and Moon, I felt like it was a lot more chill, and the special stuff was kind of few and far between. And there was like, I can appreciate the tag teams this year. I can appreciate the Prisms this year. To me, I feel like, we're getting 2 holiday sets this year. We're getting the 25th anniversary set. We're getting all these extra sets. We're getting EV heroes stuffed into Evolving Heroes.
So much.
Evolving Skies. So there's just so much consistently going on that I'm like, I don't know where to shift my focus. We're gonna talk about that a little later on today.
Yeah, that's the slow it down segment.
And like,
why are we going so freaking fast?
It's just a lot. So I feel like if this is the gimmick, it's like I'm just kind of underwhelmed because I'm like, yeah, but I feel like it's not going to be worth anything. Like a few months from now, we're going to be moving on. We're going to be on something else. And so I'm not excited as I would be like, oh, tag team, that's epic. Union, it's cool. It's cool. I'm not excited, but I'm not like roaring for it. Like I still have, there's so much to collect this year. Like we're talking about 25th anniversary stuff, and we haven't even, Chilling Reigns isn't officially out yet. And they want to tell me about this V-Union mechanic that's going to do all this new stuff. It's going to be 4 cards, and I'm like, I'm not even excited. I can't get excited at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
the tension is just being pulled in so many different directions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is cool because it's new. We've never seen 4 cards making one big card.
Yeah.
But also, who like asked for this? Who was like, hey, I would like 4 cards to make up one big Pokemon?
Like, I love having just 2 cards for the legends. I think those look cool.
Yeah, legend thing was
They
cool.
were very unique.
I thought that's where they were going to go with it.
And I thought so too. It was either that or some sort of tag team. And I'm like, great. Both of those mechanics I was super into. I think those cards look great. But I don't know, 4 cards, especially in a binder. Like whether you're the type of person who has the 4-page binders, the 9-page binders, or like have like the 12-page binders, like these cards are just going to look sorted weird unless they space them out properly and number them properly according to binders, which everyone has different types of binders. It's going to be very weird looking in there. Obviously, who cares?
This wasn't made for the collector. This wasn't made for the collector.
Who cares about that? But aesthetically, when I'm putting in my binder, I don't want like half my Greninja on one page and on the back of it, and then here's Mewtwo's arms popping off next to. I'm like, what is going on?
We look like serial killers with all of our different Pokemon parts all over the place.
Honestly,
I'm
excited to see it as far as a competitive aspect. Like, is this going to be something that a lot of competitive players are really going to be putting in their decks and kind of basing their decks around, or is this going to be something that just kind of falls to the side and people are just like, no, it's too much work to get out and going? So I don't know. I'm interested into seeing that. I'm interested to see if they're going to start up tournaments again soon. So I'm interested in that as well, which I feel like they are.
Maybe.
I mean, we have no insider information whatsoever. Let's make that clear. This is all just speculation, but I feel like tournaments are going to start up soon. I would say my guess is August for tournaments. And
that's soon.
Yes, I think with the next rotation is when they'll start up, which should be August. And I feel like Evolving Skies will be our first introduction with pre-release tournaments again.
I think
just a guess.
I can't
there's something.
Wait. Please,
there's something to think about there that maybe it is weird with like how these. Obviously, it's weird with how some of the sets have come out, but like where this mechanic is gonna find its place because maybe it was supposed to happen earlier. But due to how the world has been for the past year and a half, it kind of got lost in this weird shuffle of we want to release it, but we can't put it out yet because no one's playing in tournaments. No one could use it. This is what we want it for. So they've kind of just held off on gimmicks for now for playing up until the world can be better again and up for that. So that's something to think about too. It probably maybe it wasn't intentional. I think everything obviously shifted. We can clearly see that because of how everything went. So I think that's something to think about for this mechanic and where it'll fall place and how long it'll last. And, maybe we'll see a weird extension on the life of Sword and Shield sets and for the next generation of Pokemon because of that. Maybe everything is now an extra year of Sword and Shield because we're gotta play catch up. Maybe that's why they're cutting. Maybe that's why we're cutting. No, we're cutting 50 cards out of sets. We're pushing stuff back.
I'm telling you, they don't need to include every Japanese card in English too. I think that's insanity. If they have every single card in both English and in Japanese, that's a lot.
I mean, who knows?
Seriously.